Where we last left our heroes, Wolfgang the Angelic Warlock, Danir the Tabaxi Wizard, Asmo the Sneckman Fighter, and Nara the Drow Sorceress had made their way to Lon Athrond, the City of the Elves, a highly advanced civilization that have figured out how to blend magic with day-to-day technology in order to better raise their living standards. The city was filled with many technical marvels. Upon entering, Wolfgang was escorted into the office of High Commander Huverbrand, the head of the, I guess, the constabulary or town guard or the military district, however you want to call it. He was a guy high up enough that Wolfgang needed to speak with him upon entering.
Yes.
The rest of the party was left with one Ivar, a officer sworn to protect the many districts of the city. It was there that Wolfgang was informed that the party would be under observation while the claims that Wolfgang made were looked into. He also learned that the Jester of Bordeaux, better known as, well, I guess not better known as, but otherwise known as Fezziwig Grinspire, had been taken in and is currently being held somewhere within the facility, and was provided a little floating orb that he learned was called an Archie. The Archie observed the party as they traveled around the various districts, and did not take too kindly to many of Nara's remarks in regards to the populace, who seemed to regard her as a one that has been defiled, a outsider, and almost viewed as a villain to the entirety of the populace. One too many remarks were made to the point that they were eventually being followed by a stealthy group of officers who then, upon being discovered, informed them that they were to return to the office of Huberbrand to discuss their behavior. Ivar takes very little time in leading you guys to the offices of the Marshal District, where you are escorted through the very clean, very polished hallways to a door familiar to Wolfgang, but not so to the rest of you. It's labeled out front, these heavy wooden doors with the signet and symbols of High Commander Huverbrand. As the door slides open, you see a blonde elf sitting behind his desk, kind of fingers steepled, face kind of glowering a little bit, kind of in contemplation. His well-crafted eyebrows are furrowed as he looks up and sees the lot of you standing there. Archie still hovering over Wolfgang's shoulder. Come in, please.
Step in.
He looks directly at you, Nara.
Hello. She stares.
He stares back. He stares kind of like back into your eyes, trying to get a read on you. How have you found our city?
Nobby.
Not the most direct route.
Doc, you're coming in very quiet.
I was recording for TTS earlier.
Want the most direct route.
Archie observed a number of behaviors that are concerning, to the point that it might not be best to allow all of you to wander the streets.
What?
Miss, your name?
Nara.
Nara.
As well, it echoes afterwards.
He kind of glances at you, Asmo, thinking like, she can talk. Okay.
It's
Well, Miss Nara, not many on these streets are so open-minded when it comes to the people that come through those gates. They're used to seeing familiar faces every day. You bear resemblance to people that all of their lives they were taught to fear. In many pieces of our media, you are depicted as a villain. You and your kind. So, when you make remarks about killing people of import in this city, that doesn't shine lightly on you. You're in here for your safety as much as you are for anyone else's.
Huh.
I don't know what the world is like where you all came from. Many people here are several generations in, and when we discovered how to effectively end death, well,
Made you comfortable.
yes. So what I would like to know is what truly are your intentions here? And why should I not banish you from this city now?
He, arms crossed, looks over at Wolfgang, Denier, and Asmo.
I'm just kind of here for their thing. So, if they're not here to murder someone, I'm not here to murder someone. But I'm not going to be shy about what I need to say.
He glances at the rest of you. Then toward,
Wolfgang shrugs.
kind of like lingers and then ends up at Wolfgang.
Wolfgang kind of shrugs. We already talked about this.
Sir, do you want the least important, or do you want the most important first?
Would you clarify?
We are here for a number of reasons. Some personal, some not so. Many of them revolve around Arcanos himself.
If you would like to give your explanation, I have some from Mr. Connolly here.
There's an entity in our world, an ancient god of blood, of corruption, and of destruction. For the last 10 years, this beast has tormented and plagued my mind and dreams. Arcanos, when I met him in the other world, gave me some solace. But this beast is beginning to build an army again. Like it did 1,000 years ago when Arcanos took to the east with the rest of your people. Shortly after, a great beast arose and caused a terrible cataclysm. A cataclysm so intense that only the coming together of many gods, some of which you consider your mortal enemy, could quell this beast. We fear that it's beginning to come again. We've come here to seek Arkanos' aid, his guidance, and potentially for him to join a coalition of with the other gods. Thus far, the god of war stands beside us, as does the god of nature.
Asmo just makes a play with his with Chimera in his hand as well.
We have approached the god of stories and the god of revelry. The god of revelry has refused our offer. Arkanos is next on the list. That is the most important reason why we are here. The second most important reason is a monster known as Barristan Kinch has built a weapon using souls of the children of Arkanos, the arcane innate. As we speak, hundreds, if not thousands, of souls are trapped inside of a giant crystal. Nobody of our ability is able to release these souls to go to the afterlife where they belong, back to the Great Mother. We seek his aid to guide us as a way to release these spirits back to the afterlife. But more of a personal request, he lifts up the staff of Arkanos. This was created by Arkanos so long ago, but
His
it is
eyes
incomplete.
actually widen when you lift up that staff and hold it in your hand.
Ooh.
This artifact assisted us in pushing back an invasion force that would take the overgrowth and then eventually come for Lon Athrond. But it is incomplete. He motions along the staff to a number of parts where runes are missing. Who better to complete it than its creator?
His hand actually kind of like trembles a little bit looking at that staff.
Denier walks forward and he sets the staff onto the desk.
He
that
looks
can get a
down,
closer
looks
look at
up, just... You can tell this is an object of great reverence to him. He very tentatively kind of like puts his hands over it, just not even like touching it, but just feeling the air around the staff.
Arkanos has guided my path for the last 3 years. He has lent me aid in terms of my power. He has given me the ability to make pacts with certain fae, even one of your own. And
One of our own.
Are you aware of the Wizelstein family? They stayed behind when Arkanos went east.
My history was never truly my strong suit, but their names did come up a number of times in the studies, yes.
I believe that one of them was one of his apprentices at one point.
Yes.
One of them made a pact with Arkanos, and in my dealings with him, so made a pact with me. In times of need or peril, I can call these beings to my side. I can demonstrate if you would like.
I don't know if that'll be necessary now.
Of course.
He says, like, he's still not really taking his eyes off of the staff.
And finally, the final gift that Arkanos has granted me is guidance of his own familiar. And Denier motions to his shoulder where Eska's sitting.
Eska kind of like scratches his ear with his back leg.
I have also been given this, and he reaches into his pouch, and he places this scroll of introduction. On our way here, we heard tale of a great beast that was causing your people problems, that was trying to consume them. We made sure that this beast is no longer an issue, and he motions over towards the egg.
Nara
The
pats
beast-
it.
The beast was a glutton for time. We gave him all that he could take, and then some.
Nara, as you pet the egg, it actually kind of wiggles a little.
baby.
You're very well spoken, feline.
I've had a long time to practice this speech. I've been wanting to seek out Arcanos for a great number of months, years even. We have no ill intentions of your city or your people. Emotions towards Nara. You may think that she is simply a product of him, but she is moving away from his teachings. She is beginning to walk down her own path and choose her own destiny. She's looking within to decide who she wants to be. She may stumble along the way, yes.
Rude. But not wrong.
But even though she may stumble, she's still walking forward. And the three of us are helping guide her path.
In that endeavor, I cannot assist you. And unfortunately, the people of this city will not be as patient as my men. Even some of my own men would not be quite so patient.
Because they don't know how to adapt?
Because throughout their entire life, they've been taught to fear you, to hate you. That if they saw someone like you, if they saw someone like you, if you showed up when this city was first founded, when my great-grandfather came here, if one of your kind had breached the walls, they would have been killed on sight. I had voices yelling in my ear to do just that when you showed up. But higher voices prevailed. There are many within the council that wish to see you gone this very instant, by any means. But I must enact my own judgment, so long as I hold this office. I can't allow you to roam freely among the streets, not as you have been behaving. But I also do not wish to banish you. As it stands for the evening, you'll be escorted back to your room.
Aslan just smirking and nodding, going, how about that, huh?
If that does not suffice, I can offer a cell. They are less comfortable.
Asmo just closes his eyes and stops shaking his head, going, okay, shut the fuck up, Asmo. You were doing great until you had to fucking start, moving your head.
How dare you gesticulate?
Listen, Asmo over the years has realized when he is in a room like this, he needs to shut the fuck up.
He has been thrown in way too many of them.
Yes, and every time he opens his fucking mouth, things get worse. So he's learning.
It's almost like I have a pattern. Damn, I'm too predictable. Anyway.
No, Nick, we met the king and queen in the first episode. My dude talked. I was like, oh, I should have said that. I should have said that.
So, if I don't look like me, then there's less of a problem?
You would have to not look like yourself and not act so suspiciously. Either way, for the night, I cannot allow you to wander the streets.
God, that's boring.
Safety is boring, and I prefer my streets safe.
I've noticed.
I take that as a compliment.
Good.
Wonderful.
Great. We're all having a great time.
If that is the case, then we are not to be allowed outside of our room, at least for the time being. I have some business with Linda's Wanderlust. Is there any way that the items that I have procured could be brought back to me if we're not allowed outside of our room?
Most certainly. That should not be an issue. Delivery is simple.
Oh,
Thank you.
What was the whole point of saying that we're worthy of jumping off the side of a mountain to come up here, and then getting here and being told that we're not, or I'm not, I guess?
The judgment of Tirithul is the reason that you still walk among us.
Mm-hmm.
Our streets need to stay safe, peaceful.
They are safe.
They may not look it, but there are many that wish you harm.
I noticed. No one seemed to care that I got stuff thrown on me. So they're only safe for people that you deem worth protecting. Seems like.
I do not control society.
Is that not your job?
I do not create the rules, I enforce them.
And from my perspective, poorly.
Nara, that's enough.
If
So
you
we're
wish
to be
to
escorted
file
back to our...
Yes, if you wish to file any charges, please do so. They will be looked into and investigated. Your Archie has a recording of everything that has happened. If you wish, we can take those logs.
Since you're the only one that might even remotely listen to me, I'm gonna go with that. If you don't mind reporting it. Because I have a feeling no one else is going to care enough to.
Archie. The Archie kind of beeps and goes from red to white. Provide the logs to the archive. Any incidents of incursion? Affirmative. And Archie begins to kind of like pulse with like blue lines. I will have them looked into. Now, for the night, for everyone's sake, you will return to your rooms.
One final question on that front. On the morrow, will we be free to roam the streets once again, or will you send someone to talk to us about that?
That is what needs to be decided by the council.
The council?
And well, about what time of day is it?
For you guys, you've been up for quite a while. Everybody except Nara is actually feeling pretty tired. Nara, you're used to sleeping less than everybody else.
Mm.
No,
It's-
I don't know. Are we within earshot? Or can I whisper something to somebody?
They are elves. They do have particularly decent hearing, but if you want to roll a stealth check, I could allow it.
Oh,
19.
It's a pretty solid roll. Hold on, let me see if I can beat that. All right, what do you want to say?
Aswan just whispers into Wolfgang,
If our room's not bugged before, it's bugged now. By bugged, I mean they're
What?
listening in to us. Like a
I
bunch
mean,
of
what?
annoying insects.
And we all knew that.
Yeah, I know we all knew that, but now they're definitely listening.
Archie finishes pinging. All activity has been logged into the archives. Continuing my recording of all activity.
Yeah.
He records everything.
Yes.
Yep.
And anything anything that is deemed worthy of note, he catalogs and files away for later distribution. Right, you probably wouldn't have them.
I feel like if I sneeze, it's going to be logged as a violent action.
It's like some sort of spirit of intellect.
Only if you don't say bless you.
Hmm.
You have given me much to think about, though, Feline. What is your name?
Denier.
Denier.
Although I sometimes go by an alias, Somnium Vagus.
Son of a bitch. He kind of tilts his head a little bit and looks at you. I've heard that name before. Why have I heard that name before?
Have you had any encounters with dreams, with Fae? Maybe when I spoke to some of your subordinates, maybe they sent up a message?
No. It was something in passing, something in the academy. Either way.
It's kind of a big deal.
Denier gives a little bit of a smile. Does it have anything to do with a temple of Arcanos and a guardian waiting to defend it?
I'm unsure.
Denier gives a nod. Very well, then I will leave you to ponder it. Would you like to keep this, or should I take it back with me? He motions to the notice of introduction.
Oh, yes. I'll take this and have someone deliver it where it needs to go.
Denier nods. He gives a little bit of a bow, and he reaches out and takes the staff of Arcanos gently back into his grasp.
Ivar and his company will show you back to your room. You're dismissed.
Thank you for your time.
He nods, giving the lot of you one more, like, kind of passing glance. Lingers on Nara a bit longer.
She just looks at him passively. Not, like, aggressive, just like a, yep.
Be careful, miss.
I'll do my best.
She seems a little dejected.
Hey. We're here. We ain't going nowhere.
Well, that remains to be seen.
The door
Either
behind
just
you,
does
the door behind you slides open, and Ivar is waiting outside, standing against the wall.
Denier wanders out.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Nara follows, arms crossed.
You wander out back onto the streets. The lights and the lights all over the city, all these magical lights are still like incredibly luminescent. Like when you step outside, it still gives like this. It almost looks like it's kind of an overcast day before you step onto the streets and look up into the sky and realize that no, the star that lights the sky is not out. In fact, of the many stars that you saw when you walked into this city initially, They all seem to have convened into one sort of eclipse-looking star, where at its fringes is a multitude of kind of like an aurora of colors spinning around a black circle in a dark sky.
You said Ivar is leading us?
Mm-hmm. He's just kind of wandering quietly. It seems like he wants to say something, but...
He's the one we've talked to the most, right?
Yep.
Okay. Nara kind of like saddles up, like walks alongside him.
So, Ivar,
Yes.
what's with all the hesitation?
It's less hesitation and... I couldn't help but overhear some of the things that you said, the ones that I understood anyway. It's, what is your world like?
Oh, not as fine as this one. There's a lot of problems, a lot of real physical problems. When people say things like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill ya," it's a colloquialism. It's stuff we say in passing that we don't quite mean. It's a tough world out there.
Death is pretty normal down there. I've done it a couple times already.
In history, our people came here to escape the encroaching flood of the dead.
Blood
Did
of
they-
the dead.
The flood of the dead, yes. Brought
What does that
on
mean?
by...
There was a war 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, I imagine
Yes.
that's what he's talking about with you-know-who.
The
This
one
is
who
bef-
rose the dead, the one who betrayed our master, as he beckons towards the one who betrayed our savior. He beckons his hand towards the large gold statue of Arcanos that you see in the center of the fountain, very well lit. The fountain around him is has actually transitioned into this sort of tie-dye color, like it's almost like a water light show going on around the statue. When he betrayed our Savior and brought those that had fallen back to drive us from our lands, along with the he stops after kind of glancing at Nara. Those that took up his cause.
Oh, right. You can call him whatever you want. I chose a name. I'd prefer to be called by my name rather
Well-
than a defiled one.
Between the dead and the other Naras,
Drow.
Drow,
Yes.
between the dead and the Nara Drow, it was a horrible time in history. But our Savior was able to breach this realm and provide us a safe haven, our Lon Athrond. None were able to reach us here.
Yeah, I can tell that part. Y'all kind of panic if something new comes along.
It was the
Things
part you
are-
said that came after.
Hmm?
The part you said that came after.
What part?
The blood god.
The war between his forces and the Empire of Fire was interrupted by his emergence. The battle caused a great tear in the earth that we call the Maw. It separates the north from the south. This beast is terrifying.
This beast caused this rift that stopped the advance?
It stopped the war entirely. Everybody focused their attentions to this beast. Even the leader of the dead shifted his focus from the war to the beast.
I was about to say.
He himself delivered one of the final blows, along with Fleetfoot and Vander.
This is history of your world that we do not know. We are not taught such.
That sounds right.
This is after they left, Nora. They wouldn't know it.
Makes sense.
We had emissaries for a time, but by the time we started sending them, a thick miasma had formed. It was difficult to navigate.
Ah, the
No,
mists.
God.
Yes. Mists.
Denir, how long ago was that war?
About 1,000 years.
We have been here for significantly longer.
Probably because of the mist.
Perhaps. Or time just moves differently in Lon Athrond. It is not my field of study.
Chronomancy was always Arcanos' favored field of study.
You know much.
I've spent a great deal of time studying and learning about him, namely from the family of one of his apprentices. The matron Wizelstein, before she passed, had a lot to teach.
She is gone. My condolences.
Dinir gives a gentle nod. She died from injuries protecting the kingdom.
There may be much for your world to still inform of us. Your history with the gods.
I'm willing to give what knowledge I have. The spirit of diplomatic friendship and all that. Who knows? Maybe even give some of the elves that were left behind a chance to come back.
There are others still.
Yes, one particular family, the Wizelsteins, decided to stay behind to protect the Southern Kingdom. And they've been serving dutifully ever since.
Is it true that your land is ruled by large beasts? Dragons?
Oh, yeah!
She
3 of
rifles
them.
through her bag immediately and pulls out King Bahoom's scale to show him.
Denir pulls out Horatius scale with the symbol of the plane of dreams upon it.
I hold up my silver cage, which is made of the silver dragon scale.
These flow with tremendous power, and he looks at the cage. You can see on his visor a couple of like red lines kind of appear. This one was tainted.
Tainted?
A lingering presence. It was used for something.
Ah, sure was.
I'm sure you have many tales to tell, and I would love to hear them, but it seems we are here. he says as I drag all the images down to the hotel.
Hey.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for looking out for us.
I will be standing outside of your door to make sure you do not leave.
Right.
He gives you like two thumbs up.
Wonder crack.
Yes, Wondercrack.
Hey, Var.
Yes.
You seem like a reasonable elf.
Thank you.
Do you want to be my friend?
He kind of stands aback for a moment. I'm not used to such questions most of the time. You meet somebody and it is one of those... Do you have expression for a question that needs not asked?
True, but a lot of people really hate me up here, and...
Yes, with a passion.
So, I figure this is one of those times where maybe asking is better.
Well then, yes, I will be your friend.
She sticks out her hand.
He looks at your hand.
Asmo's also looking from a distance right now, making an incomprehensible face.
He just kind of mimics your motion and puts out his hand about like 3 feet away from yours. Is this how it is done?
Shaking hands. Shake.
Oh, he shakes his hand up and down.
Oh, you know what?
Daenerys reaches out, grabs his hand, and pushes it into Nara's hand as he leans over. It's a custom in our world. It shows that you have no weapon and that you're greeting someone friendly.
Oh, like he's kind of taken aback as you like get into his personal space and push his hand into hers. Oh, I see. He continues shaking he shakes his hand up and down, just very robotically, like does not bend at the elbow, just...
Well, now you're probably the first elf up here that's friends with a drow. Congrats.
Thank you.
Congratulations, you've just made history. And Daenerys walks in the room.
Surprisingly casual.
He stands there kind of like, you can't see his face through his visor, but he kind of stands there awestruck. I am history. Wondercrack. He stands with his back at the door, just very eagerly guarding.
She finishes that, goes over to Asmo, grabs his hand, and goes,
Come on, boyfriend.
Oh my god, what?
You guys enter...
as they're walking in the room, she looks back.
Oh, I always knew what that meant, by the way.
What, the boyfriend thing?
Yep.
Asmo just jaw kind of just... and the anime gloom on the face.
Like pulls him into the room.
Ivar turns and just like over his shoulder gives you kind of like the All Might thumbs up. Tink! All right. So you are in your suite for the evening. There are essentially like 2 rooms with 2 queen beds in it. It's a pretty standard hotel room, like joined by a center door. I think we've all been in a room like that. Everything's...
Well, that one part as well as we could hope.
I'm gonna dip out and go to the bathroom real quick.
Do it.
Asmo runs to take a piss.
I'd agree with you there.
Well, we're not in jail, so that's like better than normal.
That's a plus.
Feels like, anyway.
We're just sort of in a more comfy cell. This society is strange.
Aside from Ivar, it sucks.
They say they're at peace, but I don't know. There's this odd tension I feel in the air.
Well, they've been isolated for so long, you know, new is scary. I don't blame him for being a little bit worried when, you know, he holds a hand up to his face, walks into the front gate after, you know, you've been alone for how many thousands of years?
Well, that is fair. Although the process to get here is rigorous enough, you'd think to be able to show a little bit of trust.
They did let us in, so.
Man, me getting killed right now would have really made things difficult.
Would have. Wonder how many people know we're staying here.
He points at the TV. Like, in the city or in this hotel? Or
In the city.
He points at the TV. A lot of people.
Do they know
I'm
we're
gonna
staying
go with
here?
all of them.
I don't know that they know that we're here, but they know we're in the city. I mean,
No, I'm talking about here.
Oh.
Like in this room.
Oh.
Because he made it seem like some people are going to go out of control and like start a riot or start killing people or something.
I don't think that's the case.
That's the vibe I was picking up from the language he was using. I don't know.
Anybody who
It's
wants
like-
to can go
He's
ahead and
a-
give me a
he's-
perception. Anybody who wants to can go ahead and give me a perception check.
Oh yeah.
Like it made it seem
22.
like, oh, this is for your safety as much as it is for the people, and I don't know. That just seemed.
Nah,
Engineer's not paying attention.
it was probably just so that if their citizens do violence to me and I have to protect myself, they can say that it's my fault.
That's convenient of them.
Both
I mean, it's
Nara-
already kind of happened once, so
both Nara and Asmo, as Asmo finishes taking his piss, just goes kind of like leans against the wall, against the window. Nara wandering back by him, I'm guessing. You notice out front there is a kind of a crowd of people like growing outside the front of the hotel.
Well, Nara, guess who's popular in town?
oh my goodness, what is this?
She looks down and sees if she can like tell kind of what's happening.
The most ominous thing imaginable. A nondescript crowd of people.
With
What's going on?
with your roll, Nara, you can see that it's not a huge crowd. Like, you're not talking like hundreds of elves down there, but there's enough that it looks like a gathering, maybe about like 20, 30, maybe upwards of 50 elves starting to kind of gather and coalesce. They seem to be staring at one elf, and in front of him is this kind of like glinting, like between him and the crowd, there's this like glinting object. You're high enough up that all of these people look like
Ants.
yeah, basically. Maybe slightly larger than ants, but you're pretty high up. But with your eyes, you're able to tell that they're kind of like coalescing around one person in front of this hotel.
Denier turns on the TV and he tries to see if there's another description of what's going on by like Sassafrasha Fits or
Sure. You flip on the Scrynet screen. You start kind of flipping through to see if you can find it, and eventually, sure enough, the smug, very like slicked back brown hair, very kind of chic looking face, with that pearlescent white teeth with this kind of sneering smile greets you. Sasseralifix, once again, bringing you the news that you need to hear. So, it seems that the council has not deemed to throw them out of the city. They allowed them to stay with us once more here at the esteemed Plaza Hotel. So, rather than sitting in a cell where they belong, they're living the plush life on your time.
I don't like this guy.
Now,
Oh, this is fun.
This dude's an arsehole.
I have deemed over and over again to try to gain entry in order to try to have a nice civil conversation with these 4 new faces. But I've been turned down once and again and again and again. It's like they don't wish to be spoken to. It's like they're trying to hide something. And what are they trying to hide? What have they brought with them?
I'd like to say something.
It'd be
to him.
so much fun. Oh!
Why does he ask questions like we can answer it?
I'll tell you folks. I need to ask the very simple question. Why did they show up so soon after the beleaguered elf? One of our own kin. Wandered into the city, delirious, deranged. He was ushered in, and is currently being looked after. And so soon after that poor, poor man wandered through our gates looking for sanctuary, these 4 stumble in and cause nothing but trouble. Why is that allowed to happen? Why are they still here?
Oh, this one is so much fun.
And then it cuts to commercial.
So they know we're here.
I would say so, yes.
I look. Is our Archie still floating over? Right.
Yep.
I say this, prefacing that it is a colloquialism, and I would never actually do that in this fair city. But I want to punch him.
Archie blinks for a moment. Bink, bink.
And there you go. Social faux pas circumnavigated.
Nara is like buzzing because she knows that chaos is like imminent. And she's so about it. But also at the same time is like,
Well, I'm not going to exacerbate anything necessarily, but it's kind of funny.
I wonder how bad he would. I wonder if it would startle him if I casted sending. And
Yes.
greeted him friendly.
This is a highly advanced, civilized society. I think their relationship with magic is pretty intimate. I don't think he'd be shocked at all.
Maybe.
I don't know. He's got such a stick up his butt. He might be shocked.
Now that man's magic is his charisma. Looks like you can get people angry about anything.
Sure enough, as you look out the window, the crowd is growing.
Looks like everyone was watching that magical vision.
Great.
Ah, fun. I guarantee if we ask where that guy lives, it's gonna bring up more questions.
Leave him be. Let him do his
Just
own
want-
thing.
I just want to ask him to knock it off.
We already
Stop
we
it.
already know. We already know where we need to go to Fifth Rabar. He's the Academy of the High Arcane Arts.
We just gotta get there, right?
Yeah, and that might prove to be a bigger problem than we thought initially.
Well, we've already done what we need to do, and I think I made enough of a point on the High Commander. I mean, did you see the way that his eyes widened when I was talking to him?
What if Newsman saw your stick?
I don't think that.
probably. I'll tell you exactly what happened. He'll look at it and say you stole it or something.
No, he'll just make a comment that I'm a feral animal with a stick.
Ah,
Not the first time I've gotten looks like that.
you know,
She looks at Archie.
never mind.
Something got me thinking, actually. Archie, do you got any records on Somnium Vagus?
Scanning. One academic study. Found.
Look over to
With
you pointedly
mention.
like, oh. Is that study available for our perusal?
There is a sample available.
May I see it?
Affirmative. Archie turns into a tablet.
Ah, cute. It was round and now it's square.
I look down.
On the tablet, you can see kind of like the sample text of the article. The article is labeled, the academic article is labeled, The Void, the Future, Armageddon, and You. And it has no author.
Huh. It's just a sample, right?
Yep. Basically, what you can glean from this is apparently the name is mentioned somewhere in this article, but it is an article that details. It seems to be it seems to be tagged with the School of Divination, as if this is like some sort of like hack prophecy. And it seems to detail events of a possible apocalypse. Archie would Archie has a few things that you can mess with if you give me a investigation check.
I think I might do just that.
Can I give him assistance?
Ooh,
Soft
no,
20.
it doesn't seem necessary. Archie's
God.
fairly intuitive. As you kind of flick through, you can find like reviews of the article, even if you don't like read the whole thing. A lot of people seem to decry this as so implausible, it's basically fiction.
And in my viewing of this sample, do I ever see the Somnium Vagus brought up? Or is that, do I need to buy the premium service for that?
In looking through Archie's methods of actively getting at this thing, it seems like you'd need to have access to the archives within the school itself in order to read this article.
Huh. Interesting. You're mentioned in a prophecy, apparently, Daenerys.
Look at
Huh.
you.
So that makes two then.
Well, you got two?
Back when I went north, I separated from the group for a little bit. I joined this interesting group on a job. I heard about a temple of Arcanos further north. I joined up with this human tinkerer, a turtle monk, and I'm what I can describe as a tabaxi rogue. And we went to this temple. We came across this guardian, this... I don't want to say that he was a lizard folk, but he was like an aquatic, like a fishman, so to say.
Mm.
And he said that he'd been waiting. He was prophesied that he was supposed to wait here until that very day to serve his destiny.
Hmm.
And it was at that time that I, with my companions at the time, went in, defeated the Guardian, and while they were looking around and gathering treasure, I met with Arcanos for the first time.
Oh.
Good folks.
Huh.
Real good folks. I wonder how they're doing right now.
Interesting.
They had one of them had a mechanical beast called Gracie. She was really something.
Dude sounds like an asshole.
He had a jug that can make a liquor out of thin air.
What?
Now that's something I can respect.
For
Once
once,
we get back
I
on the
agree with
siege,
Wolfgang.
I'm gonna have to see how he's doing.
Off in the distance. Fucking sneeze.
Cool that you have prophecies, though. I don't even have one.
That you know of.
That's true. Nah, I probably don't have any.
Well, I haven't seen the whole article yet. No, I was only looking for so many on Vagus.
I mean,
That
he's
was
got
interesting.
one. He's part of one, I think. You're probably part of one.
Archie,
Whoop. Pops back into egg form.
what information can you tell me about the Connolly family?
Scanning. Data found. Once again turns into a tablet. On the screen, you recognize one name. Your deepest, like as far back as you can think, like 1,000 years of your family history.
Oh.
There is one mention of, well, a few mentions, but all of the same person, of the Connolly that was given the light to stave off the wave of darkness.
Holy hot damn.
In the very faded, etched imagery, you see this man, flaming wings on his back, eyes burning bright with fire, holding aloft a very familiar saber that burns with a bright light.
I think that's him. The one who sealed the pact. Forged my family's destiny, and they have records of him. 1,000 years ago, at least.
That's good fact-keeping.
He was one of the generals that led alongside Bahum, Harash, and Bahum and Harash as they led the armies of mortals against the hordes of undead to the north.
But wait, Bahum and Harash are both mentioned by name?
Yep.
They really do have good record keeping.
No, yeah, this
What-
is.
Anything
Does it-
pre this place getting set up, they still have records of.
Does it mention the name of this individual at all? The Connolly?
It does, and since I mentioned it previously, I'm currently scrolling through my notes. But we're talking like well over a year and a half ago, so just pretend I said the correct name.
Wow.
I will get it to you when I find it.
Oh my god.
Rowan sounds about right.
Rowan's his dad's name.
Oh, Rowan. Okay, I knew there was a Rowan colony. It was a one shot where you guys played Noken and Duken.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Hey, dwarf brothers knocking and ducking. Hey!
Hey, we're dead.
Ye-
Yeah, they fucking died. Maybe.
Oh,
This is really so. Maybe. No, maybe.
Well, if they didn't, then they're certainly dead 1,000 years later, right?
I can't believe you're about to depray him.
Well, we know that their bloodline survived.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Broken Stone Knuckle. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Your egg knows a lot of
still
stuff.
working the forge to this day.
You are correct. This egg does know a lot.
Hey,
I'm sure they got.
Archie,
Pops back into egg form. Ba-boonk.
what do you know about Solomon?
Oh.
Solomon, the defector. Records found. Bootink. Turns back into a tablet.
Just pass it
he
over.
starts reading voraciously about his. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check real quick. As you haven't had to navigate Archie before.
16.
Okay, that's enough to get done what you need to get done. An oddity that you find is that while there's a lot of content, there's a lot of fictional content, a lot of retellings of history through the eyes of survivors, things like that, things that don't really paint him in a great light. You know, he's a monster, he's a horrible entity. You know, basically he's their version of the devil.
Yeah, no, that tracks.
Yeah. He may as like in history, he to them is Hitler.
Okay.
And
Oh man.
He killed a lot. He killed and turned a lot of people. So you don't find many good things about him. Is there any information that you're looking for specifically? Because there's a lot of data to scrub through.
Like battles with him, like any basically like weaknesses or moments of weakness or anything related to that. If we were to one day fight him.
In most fiction, you find that he's killed by in a lot of the fiction that's written out there, you find that he is vexed by some warrior of profane light or by a rendering of Arcanos in some form of fiction or another. But in history, you like there is very limited data that you find on him in history, other than the fact that battle tactics were to basically send in some of his defiled elves, kill as many people as possible, and then as those bodies fell, they would be risen, and basically the tide of a battle would turn very quickly as soon as bodies started falling. As soon as there was dead to rise, they would rise and begin attacking relentlessly the enemies in front of them, pushing anything back that stood in their way. Some battles where, you know, some of the Elven commanders believed they had routed the enemy were soon found themselves surrounded as some drow had made it into the back lines and killed people in the back, leaving their flank exposed to the then oncoming wave of the undead from both sides. He was a brutal commander of his army.
And were there any instances in history of him like showing any kind of compassion or like not killing a bunch of people?
I will need you to make another investigation check on that one, because there is a lot to scrub through.
Oh, 7.
You find a lot of weird fan fiction where people romanticize him.
Oh, god damn it.
No.
Why is my 7 fan fiction roll? Nara scrunches up her face and hands the tablet back to Wolfgang.
Huh.
She left it on a particularly spicy one.
This one included fan art. It's him making out with a depiction of a young Arcanos.
That's for you.
She just stares at him.
Both of them are shirtless, and Solomon has tears in his eyes.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Nara is also studying Wolfgang's face intensely the moment she hands it over because she knows he can't avoid seeing it.
His face, he goes through every stage of grief in an instant.
Yeah.
And then he just goes here.
Huh?
Yes.
I show him the tablet.
And so now you too see the
Behold,
image.
Hold on.
the ancient carvings of this glorious civilization.
The hell are you guys reading?
Oh yes, Asmo. Wait, come here. Very important part of history you must see.
The most ancient.
You know that guy. You know that guy who made you do the thing and did the thing to you. There you go. Here he is.
Denier was actually reading it when you took it away from him.
Oh my god.
I just imagine all of you kind of crowded over the each other's shoulders here.
I'm excited for whoever watches the log on this, Archie. Yes, I'm talking to you.
And she stares directly at the tablet.
Just somebody at Elf TSA looking at this thing. They're looking at porn. They're just looking at porn.
That is keeps examining. Porn. That is definitely porn.
They're looking at erotic fan fiction of the betrayer. Send in code green.
I don't know. How do I log this one? What do I tag this as?
Tag it as not safe for work.
NSFW.
You know, I have to give this author credit. At the very least, it's well written. Very descriptive.
Why are you reading it, Denier?
Denier, this was not. That's not the point.
Suppose we got nothing better to do.
You know what? You're right.
Knowledge.
Denier, read it to her. Read it out loud for us.
Hang on,
She
I
just
need
sits
alcohol
down
for this.
cross-legged.
And as you all gather around to read the Solomon Arcanos fanfic, Saren Sassaralifix, somewhat muted in the background, just saying, "And who knows what acts they're trying to come up with in the room." Plotting our very demise, as you're all sitting around with glasses of wine reading fan fiction. Here is where we will take a quick break. Hey guys, thanks for rolling with us today. If you want to catch us live, you can do so over on twitch.tv/Lanipator, Mondays at 4 o'clock Central Time. Now, back to the action. So you guys rest through the night after reading your fanfic.
Oh, I had a question for Archie about the fanfic we were done.
Please do. You'd stay up later than everybody else, so.
Archie, what was the username of the person who wrote this?
You scroll back to the top of the article. The name on the article is a single name. Foreigness. Sorry, let me write it out for myself. Yeah, Yeah, Foraness 99. FOARNESS 99.
Damn, I had money on XVX Solomon Arcanos Forever XVX.
And who does that username belong to?
Data restricted.
That's the first I heard that today.
Is it now? Who could lift that restriction?
Archie, after scanning for a moment. Restriction could be lifted in case of investigation. Proper authorities, the council.
A council? For this fic?
It scans, kind of processing your words. Arcanet anonymity is one of the tenets of the Arcanet.
Damn.
Privacy to those who wish it.
But not to all.
Well, it was worth a shot.
Archie just silently pulses in front of you.
I was really hoping it was going to be that Daff of Flophovis guy.
That would be pretty funny. He seems like
Oh,
the kind of
well.
guy who's hiding a secret.
Oh, more than one. I have,
She eyes Archie.
been around a lot of people who have his kind of personality.
Eyeing Archie.
Archie just sits there neutrally, clearly observing all.
Beep.
With that, Nara's mostly contented.
Daenerys wanders into the back to go into his dream trance, and he's going to begin practicing or studying Elvish and Sylvan. Or at least trying to.
Okay. You can go ahead and give me a base intelligence check.
22.
You study into the night. Some of the words kind of start coming to you, but
It's going to be a process.
it'll take a bit before you can just straight up learn a new language.
Mm-hmm.
Though this being a language that you've heard a number of times, a language that you've had to magically translate a number of times, some of it seems to flow to you a bit easier than it would normally.
Plus, it helps that I have people that I can practice with. Nara for Elvish and my Fae for the Sylvan.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else doing anything particular for the evening?
Yes, Nara's gonna listen to her egg and start working on a little T-Rex harness.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check as you listen into it.
24.
From the inside of the egg, you do hear like a little bit of shuffling and some biological sound, some just little tiny subtle noises coming from inside of the egg.
I think I'm finally going to get my pet.
That is both wonderful, heartwarming, and equally parts terrifying.
Gonna be a little ass.
Tell him to wait until after we get out of the city.
Sounds pretty done. Not gonna lie. Just kind of want to make sure I got something where they don't, murder my pet. Because then I'll have a lot of strong emotions to let out. You understand?
She looks at
Curious.
Wolfgang.
I wonder if he'll remember.
I doubt it. brain got reversed. So, never existed, right?
Shrug.
Starting fresh.
Anybody that wants to make a wild guess can make a nature check or an arcane check.
I'm gonna try to. 7! My lucky number.
Got
They're
no
exactly the
clue.
same.
Pretty much everything you said is about right to you.
Here I go. 13.
Wolfgang, your assumption is that even if this creature does remember, it's a fairly stupid creature to have allowed itself to get beaten this way anyway. So even if it does remember, you think that it might be too dumb to actually like really recognize what's been going on. That's your assumption.
Yeah, fuck it.
So yes, Nara's gonna make a little T-Rex harness out of some rope and leather, so it won't hurt.
You think it's gonna hatch while we're up here?
I hope not. That's
No,
another variable we don't need.
I mean, I can hear sounds inside, and it's kind of scratching around, so, won't be long. Haha.
I'm trying to see in order to craft that thing. You're crafting this thing over. Like, are you trying to like finish your harness tonight?
You know what? I could actually create it with I have creation.
Go ahead and click that spell and read the description for me.
Pull with me. Mineral objects such stone, crystal, metal. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, bro.
'Cause I'm pretty sure those things only last a certain amount of time too.
There's no time in my sheet.
Okay.
Click the spell.
Oh wait, never mind. There is. It's just at the bottom.
Yeah, it
JK.
depends on. It depends
So yeah,
on
I'm
the
just
item.
gonna use. I'm just gonna use. I'm gonna use my rope and some of the fine robes that I have.
Really?
Stealing the robes from the fucking hotel room.
No, I have fine robes in my
Oh. Well, there you go.
Inventory
Yeah.
that you found from the Kench Mansion.
yes.
Go ahead and give me a survival check to see how well you put that stuff together.
6. So I struggle. And then I
So you struggle and then yeah, you're trying your best to kind of like throw this thing together. Your head is still kind of racing with all of the information that you've taken in. The harness that you start building starts to remind you of a harness from the fan fiction you read. It just starts kind of muddling you and flustering you to the point that you might have to try this again later.
Oh, fine. Wait, you all know how to do this. We all watch the same thing. Can you help me do this?
she looks at everyone.
Yeah, I think we can.
If we're all working on it, then hopefully it won't suck. I don't want little ass to get hurt.
I'll say at
You're
this
dead
point in
set
the
on
night.
calling that,
What? Said I'm calling him what?
little ass.
Yeah. Yes.
Little ass it is.
At this point in the night, everybody is pretty tired, so if two of you work together, I'd let one of you roll survival with advantage.
Can Asmo help her?
Or not advantage, just a straight roll, because if two of you work together, that would negate the disadvantage I would put on everybody being kind of tired.
Can I help out Nora as Asmo?
If you want to be the one to roll the survival check, go for it.
I would. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I just feel like Asmo would want to help out with that.
Go for it.
Yeah. Alrighty. And we are going to. Where is my? Oh, there it is, hiding behind
Very
the whole
bottom.
time. No.
He was looking for his character.
Oh god.
Oh no!
I'm sorry.
beast?
The one Asmo starts to, like, all the knots, like, the knots seem like they're going to hold, but it's way too big for what you think is going to come out of that egg. It's just, this might be something to be revisited.
He looks at the tangle of knotted rope and cloth, looks up at him and goes,
Well, we'll just try again another time. It's kind of been a big day, to be fair.
Anybody else with any business before sleeping?
That'll be it for, I think, for Asmo today. If we're trying to help out Nara and just realizing that he's a big dumb boy with big dumb boy brain.
He's got big old
The whole
sausage
time.
fingies.
I'm gonna solve your problems. I've made more.
"Oh my god." She did also spring something on him today, so.
All right. With that, everybody sleeps through the night, and you're awoken by a knocking on the door to your room.
What?
I'll get it.
Quiet in here, do your thing later.
She runs to the door and opens it.
Ivar is standing there. He's holding a parcel. It's very nicely wrapped in what seems to be kind of a shimmering paper. The logo of Willinda's Wanderlust can be seen on it. This has arrived for the denier.
Okay.
And also, your fates have been decided. We will return to the district proper.
There's a better way of putting that. There's a better way of putting
Fates
that.
have been decided. Well, you gotta understand. He's not his first language. Thank you.
Literal.
We can go back out?
To the office of High Commander Huverbrand, yes.
Oh.
Oh, we're well.
There is situations to discuss. Yes.
Oh.
Nara runs back to the window and looks down.
As the door closes behind you, I will wait here, friend.
Okay.
Denier wanders out and he picks up his package. He smiles and he walks back into his room.
Nara looks down outside to see if the crowd is still there.
The crowd seems to have dissipated a bit. There is a crowd. It's not as big as it was when there was a person out there kind of goading them. But there does seem to be some form of a picket down there. Like several people kind of like standing to basically protest.
General Rada.
Mm-hmm.
Robber.
Yeah, like that.
Yep.
Nara flips on the veil for with just like a normal human woman with black hair. She's done this one before.
Mm-hmm.
You decide
then
to
goes-
disguise yourself as a human in the City of Elves.
Yes.
Okay.
And goes back to the door and opens it.
Okay. Ivar, whose back is to the door, guarding it, turns. Give me a second. As his visor kind of blinks green for a moment, he looks at you. Oh, I see. You are disguising yourself. Yes, a good tactic.
Is this fine?
To those who are ill-equipped, it should suffice. Though ears
What?
might be noticed.
Ears.
You are, human.
Yes. Should I choose something else?
If blending in is your desire, then being an elf would be the correct choice. Or if you lack such abilities, perhaps a hood.
Hood it is.
Though your clothing still might give you away.
Hey, Denier,
Yeah.
can you make me to look like, not this?
I don't think I have that capability.
Oh, wait, I have an idea.
And she pulls out the fine robes she was going to use for the harness and wears them instead.
Smell yeah.
The fine robes that you wear, while looking incredibly elegant for the world that you came from, still does not quite match the decor and style of the city you are in, is one thing that you notice. But you do feel pretty in the robe.
There's just sort of a little catch about me being an elf here. This
If
this
some-
magic works in a specific way, and it might be recognizable in a bad way if I was.
If it is a catch that you seek, perhaps I can help to throw. Is that
That
the
is
correct idiom?
Not quite. This veil that I procured.
Archie hovering over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Sweat drops. The all-judging eye of Archie.
When I got this veil, it has the only way that it stores likenesses is after a death. So
I see.
I concern myself with looking like someone who has passed away.
Then this face is one who has passed.
Yes.
My condolences.
Oh, my. Okay.
I have an idea.
Yes, anything.
We could. You still can cast polymorph, can't you?
Oh! Yes, but it only lasts for a small while.
I don't think we'll be on the street for an hour. We're heading straight to the office.
Good point. Let's do that instead.
I mean, I don't think that too many people will be batting an eye with me with two weasels on my shoulder. Says the near behind a closed door.
Two weasels.
Eska, who I'm assuming you just never desummoned, is just sleeping on the dresser beneath the television.
Oh my god.
Oh no, he's in entertain. You mean the entertainment?
Yes, the
center.
scry screen.
Cry center.
The scry-tertainment. Yeah, just sleeping in that really adorable way with like the tail over the eyes, blocking it from the sun outside.
Well, polymorph it is.
So she polymorphs into an elf with fancy clothes.
A polymorph can only be used to turn into a beast.
Oh shiz puff. Forgot.
you're thinking of true polymorph,
Yeah,
which is a
I
ninth level
am.
spell.
That's what I was thinking of.
Oh.
So
There's a difference?
instead,
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that.
True polymorph
Yeah.
is a ninth level spell, which can turn you into anything.
Ah, okay. The more you know.
so she turns to Asmo.
What do you want?
Surprise me. Asmo says with a smile.
Surprise you?
Mm-hmm. What's wrong with that? I don't know. Asmo starts sweating.
I don't even know
She
if snakes can sweat.
she morphs into a oh my gosh, what is it called? A black and yellow hawk. It sits on his shoulder.
Oh, that. Okay.
Nara anamorphs into a hawk that flutters over to your shoulder and digs its talons into the leather of your armor, of your shoulder pads.
Oh, man. Asmo just whistles and just scritches under the chin.
At the whistle, Eska begins to awaken, sees the hawk on your shoulder, ducks behind a dresser.
Head cocks to the side.
Eska kind of gives that little peek around the corner. Notices you looking, pops back behind the dresser.
Proceeds to clean a feather.
Denier wanders out after he
Nice.
finishes changing.
And how does Denier look in his new attire? Which, by the way, the robe you were given, I will let you know what it does. You said you wanted something durable.
Yeah, durable, protective, travel, travel-y, something that can protect on the road.
For the things that you provided and gave them, they gave you a robe of mending +1. Essentially, at the end of every day, this robe will mend any and all damage that was done to it. It won't heal you, but any like scrapes, rips, tears on the robe will be knitted back together, and this robe will look pretty much brand new at the rise of the sun the next day. It also offers you a +1 to AC.
Very nice.
Oh, beautiful. +1?
Ooh.
Ooh.
So Denier has his usual boots that he's always had. His trousers he's switched out for a pair of sleek black pants. He's got a vest which is red and black with gold lining. Above that, he's got a low-cut V-neck white tunic shirt, button-up shirt. And over that, he has a heavy-duty, high-collar, red and black tailcoat. Very similar to Wolfgang's. And with that...
And feel free to post that picture in the chat, and I can show it to, like, the full picture that you got, and I can show it to the, to those watching at home.
Let's see.
Yeah, the snazzy Denier walks out. Oh, I should also mention that
I am sending it now.
Yeah, as well as being a robe that's, self-mends, it also self-cleans. So it will basically clean itself at the dawn of every day as well.
Oh
Heck
my
yeah.
god.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Beautiful.
All right, let's pull this out so that people can see it proper. Let me open the original.
Ah.
And here is season 3 Denier.
Artwork is courtesy of Caitlin C37, as most Roll With Me artwork is done by.
Yep, pretty much every official piece of art that I've used for characters was done by Caitlin C37, although a lot of the tokens and thumbnail art that I use are from everybody in the community.
Exactamundo. I'm
yeah.
so happy with the way it came out.
Beautiful,
It
man.
looks great.
Yeah, it looks great. Actually, here, I guess I can leave it open a while longer since the map is not really a thing right now. Whoa, that zoomed in way more.
I'm
than I
loving.
expected.
I'm loving the
Whoa.
map and how it connects.
Yeah.
Now I just need Asmo and Nora, and we'll have the group outfit all set.
Everybody wears a duster. Everybody.
I mean, it makes sense because Wolfgang has been such an integral part of his life up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I come over to house. We're best friends.
We're friends now.
We're best friends.
And yes, those are copper pieces in his hand.
Of course they are.
He's ready to cast Payday. All right. So with a dapper new Denier, Eska comes out from behind the banister, starts climbing his way up your leg, up to the top of your shoulder, and just kind of hides behind you now.
Yep. He can duck in. He can duck right into that little crevice between the collar and my cheek fluff.
And so he does. You can see his little face popping out beneath the leftmost cheek fluff. And his tail kind of swooping out, like almost like a cravat. A weasel cravat around your neck.
Hey. Stylish.
You would say that.
Nara thinks in her head, that is a hawk. Forgot about that.
Yeah, what comes out is like...
I agree. It does look stylish.
Gives like that bird hiss of.
Hey, Nick, be right back 1 second. I gotta quickly go to the bathroom.
Sure thing.
All right. Well, I suppose with that out of the way, we should go ahead and get it going.
Nara flaps.
Asmo follows along, his eye just kind of looking vacant for a moment, as if he's just following along for the sake of it.
Shutting down.
Entering autopilot. Asmo's mind to control now.
He's entered Asmo instinct.
Nara like
Well,
single footsteps like bop 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 up to the top of his head and like kind of nests up there.
Asmo stares forward blankly. Automated Asmo engaged.
Kind of like
doing that a
Ratatouille.
lot lately.
It's like Ratatouille, just like turns. It's like
Asmo-
put
yeah.
a wing down to like turn right, turn left.
Yeah, you
Piloting him like Ratatouille.
Yeah. You begin remmying
Exactly.
Asmo
Yes.
as you use your talons to dictate which way he needs to go.
Yep.
Ivar is waiting for you outside. Are you ready now?
Nara flaps.
Believe so. Yes.
Hold on. Oh, yeah, his visor once again glows. Ah, you are a bird now. Wondercrack.
Flaps again.
This is pretty wondercrack.
Very wondercrack. A wondercrack day indeed. He holds up 2 thumbs up. This is correct, yes. Yes. He nods to him.
Spirits.
He nods to himself. This is the most excitement I have had in my job in some time. Not every day that visitors show up, let alone that I am to be their chaperone.
Well, all the more enjoyment to you. I'm sure this will be an experience that you'll remember for a while.
As he leads you back down through the lobby, out. The crowd outside, upon you guys exiting the hotel, they are not fans. You hear the rabble of elves as they're just yelling like, go back to your own lands. Just the bog standard, go away, foreigner.
Nara hops down onto Asmo's shoulder instead.
Asmo continues to scan the crowd. There is there's kind of a retinue of officers here waiting outside, trying to hold this crowd back, keep them from moving any further forward than where they are. As you requested, the Archie is scanning this for any activity that would not be good on these people. Some of these elves are, just kind of there to be a part of the crowd. Some of them are like diehard, fuck you guys, how dare you show up here. Few of them are very confused that they don't see Nara.
I need something
Nara.
to be outraged at.
Yeah.
Nara smiles in Hawk.
Smiles in Hawk.
Daenerys just gives them the happiest smile and even tries to greet them happily in Elvish.
What do you say to them?
Nope.
Just, hello.
First, go ahead and give me a intelligence check with advantage, since you were practicing that last night and rolled fairly well.
Okie doke. Let's see. Character sheet. Intelligence. That's a 20.
Oh my,
Now go
okay.
ahead and give me a
Thank
persuasion
God.
a persuasion check with a persuasion check with disadvantage.
That's nat 1.
Oh
There
my
it
god!
Wow, look at that. Back to back.
It's the same
forward,
roll.
You walk forward and basically say, "Greetings, everyone," and you get back in words that you don't understand. But Nara the Hawk and who else speaks
Wolfgang.
Elven among you?
I
Wolfgang?
do.
You basically get, "Fuck you!"
And despite getting yelled at, he just keeps that happy smile on his face.
Probably making it worse.
Go back to
also,
Russia!
Also, Asmo has to have the egg strapped to him, so
Yes.
he's also egg strapping right now.
Eggs.
Gone full
As-
dino.
Got it.
Asmo,
He's-
shake,
Open the
as
door,
like-
get on the floor.
Asmo shakes himself out of his fugue state as you're wandering
Oh, you're
past
back.
this angry mob of people.
Yes.
Yes, I am back. Yeah, sorry.
He's got an egg strapped to his chest and a hawk on his shoulder.
This is not what I expected, but I feel like I have to be very careful.
Nara puts out a wing and pats the top of his head.
Dude, these elves are telling us to go fuck ourselves.
Wandering up, you see a familiar face. One moment. There they are! There they are! The face of Saren
Oh my
Sasaralifix
God.
running up to you with a blue glowing orb kind of floating behind him. You're guessing that this is what was used to basically project the scry onto the screen. There they are right now, and one fewer at that! Will as they wander up, like, officers try to, like, hold him back. Oh, will they not submit to a mere question from the public?
What's your question?
You do not understand him. He is speaking Elven.
I do, though, and I walk right up to him.
Oh, look, coming
Just-
right this way.
Daenerys walking by, waving, "Hello, Mr. Saren."
Go ahead and give me another persuasion with
Oh
disadvantage.
God. Oh.
21.
Ooh.
It is good to know that at least one of them has manners.
Oh God.
You scruffy-looking gentleman. He looks at. He's talking to Wolfgang, as Wolfgang has wandered up to him.
He just smiles.
Why have you deigned to enter our lands? What brings you here, and what are you plotting?
We are plotting the betterment of all. Indeed,
All of
the fate of the
whom?
world banks on everyone.
Of all time to be on TV, Asmo has a freaking egg, an egg,
And
an
Nara,
egg carrier on his chest.
At this
Like
point
a-
is like hopping from foot to foot in excitement of what's about to happen.
Wings are fluttering.
Oh no wings
Oh.
fluttering, just like hop, 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 hop.
Just excited hawk hops.
Oh yeah. Axel's got an egg and a hawk hopping on his shoulder.
The betterment of all. Do you hear that, people at home? The betterment of all. Clearly, this man knows what's best for you. And tell me, what is best for all of us here?
Well, I would think avoiding the end of the world would be in the best interest of everybody.
The end of the world. What?
Oh, I assumed you know. I assumed you knew. You seem like a knowledgeable gentleman yourself. We are here on holy purpose. Trying to save not just the outside world, not just mankind, not just the elves, but everyone and everything.
Hopping intensifies.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us now, this is Saren Sassaralifix. I am talking to the interlopers who have made their way into our society, and this one right here is clearly out of his mind, doomsaying prophecies. And tell me, sir, how exactly would this Armageddon come about?
He pauses for just a moment. Bats. Great horned bats. Flying through the air, abducting people. Setting whole townships on fire, it's awful. Just awful.
Okay, go ahead and give me a.
Oh my god.
You got good. You got good charisma, so it's probably not going to be awful. But a oh lord, deception check.
I do have pretty shit deception, though. Let's try it out. 20!
Oh.
Just awful. Yes, I pull my collar down and I point to like a scar on my collarbone. You see that? Flying horned bat scar.
He looks at you skeptically, but then a light seems to pop on in his head. And you would bring these devils here to our streets.
Oh man, Asmo just knows this sounds bad. This guy's getting way too red.
I seek to deliver you from them.
Well, there were no bats before you showed up, and now you claim that you will be the one to deliver us from them. How convenient your arrival is.
I agree. Like I said, you've got a good head on your shoulders.
Persuasion playing to his vanity for advantage.
Oh my god.
6.
With advantage, that is a 14.
Oh yeah.
14.
House.
You matched him. So he kind of like he gives a big wide smile. Of course I do. It's why I have this job. I am here to deliver the truth to the people. Now you are here doomsaying, bringing about chaos in our streets, and telling us that we are in danger and only you can save us?
Well, not only me, I've got my companions behind me as well.
And you're one down. Where exactly has the defiled one snuck off to? What are you up to, Mr. Man?
Connolly. Wolfgang Connolly.
Mr. Wolfgang Man Connolly.
Well, I'm afraid that we're going to discuss that right now.
And how convenient. As Ivar kind of wanders up, we probably should be on our way.
Quite. Thank you for your time, and do have a pleasant evening.
He turns away, looks back to the Scryarb as Ivar kind of like ushers you away from him. And with that, speaking in the foreign tongue, our own soldiers are blah blah blah.
Farewell, Mr. Saren.
As they're walking away, Nara like deadpan faces the camera and winks.
All right.
Can I just raise a middle finger and slowly flip it up towards the camera while I'm walking away?
As you're walking away, you just bring up the middle finger behind his back. He doesn't seem to notice.
As was me scratching his eye with his middle finger last little bit.
Ivar ushers you back to the sorry. Changing out my music now that we're not in the streets. Ivar ushers you back to the militant district, where you are not ushered to the office of High Commander Huverbrand this time. You are brought to what, for all intent and purposes, could be described as a... it seems to be like a room that they use for tribunal. It is much larger. There are many more elves here, including High Commander Huverbrand, who is sitting off to the side of a very stern-looking black-haired elf sitting at like kind of a high chair on this stand. There's basically this row of seats, and at the very center is a seat that sits a bit higher than the rest. This stern-looking elf, black of hair, kind of fluffy hair too, almost looks like he's wearing a wig. Very big, almost like mutton choppy-esque sideburns. They kind of betray the sharpness of the rest of his face. His nose is very, very sharp and pointed. His chin is very pointed. And his lips sit pursed. His eyes rival that of Nara's in her hawk form right now, as he is staring in judgment of you, along with the other elves that sit along this tribunal, I guess. There are three of them in total. There's Huverbrand sitting to this man's left, and on his right sits a female elf, blonde of hair, looks very bored to be there. These are the ones, Huverbrand. Oh, sorry. What was that?
Comprehend languages goes on.
You can see, like, as you begin to cast, beneath you on the floor, there appears to be, you're standing on a white tiled floor, very similar to the metals that you've been growing accustomed to. As you begin to cast, the floor turns red, blinks for a little while, then realizing you're casting something non-harmful, kind of blinks green and goes back to white. These are the ones, Huverbrand. Yes, Commissar. He looks down at the lot of you. We live in strange times. He's saying all of this in Elven, so only those that understand him will understand him. But actually, no, I guess you'll all understand him because Archie will be translating for you.
Thank you, Archie.
Good.
Ah, yes.
These are strange times that we live in. Visitors have been popping up more and more. And you are connected to the one that previously entered in more ways than we expected. Further, you have been granted admittance to the Academy for the High Arcane. This was a decision that the Council disagreed with, but the answer came from on high. Do you understand what that means?
We understand perfectly well. Most of our motivation comes from on high.
Do you truly grapple with whose order this comes from?
Arcanos himself.
It's not that strange to us.
Strange is as strange does. We've seen many a thing. And you think me having this egg? This isn't even normal. This is just another day for me.
Nara smiles and Hawk.
The man at the central desk, the one that was labeled as commissar, looks over to the very bored blonde elf. Would you mind doing your job? She stands up and looks at Hawk Nara, utters a phrase, and dispels your magic. You can make an arcane check to try to resist it.
Oh shit.
Let's just see what happens if I do.
I think you gotta use the bird's arcane check as well.
Oh, shit.
It's a intelligence is one of those things that doesn't or actually no, it does in polymorph.
Yeah, it does.
This isn't.
So it's super not gonna work.
Yeah,
your
Hawk,
personality and your alignment are preserved, but not your stats.
What is the intelligence of a hawk?
Like,
Not
dude,
high enough.
Try for it. Go for it, man.
Hawk. Hawk, 5th edition. Give me the stats. It is a -4, so go ahead and roll a d20 -4.
Oh, Jiminy Christmas. D20.
There's still a 1 in 20 chance that you succeed.
Oh.
That wasn't it, unfortunately. Asmo, make me an athletics check.
Yeah, I figured that was coming. I'm on your shoulder, buddy.
A dexterity check, you said?
Athletics.
Oh, athletic. Okay,
Yeah,
that's way
because I'm
better.
about to be a full ass on your shoulder.
21.
He's used to it.
Yeah, and as Nara immediately turns back into herself,
And is
very
full on
smoothly.
sitting on his
Yeah,
shoulder.
she ends up like kind of losing her balance while sitting on your shoulder. You very suavely and very smoothly, boom, catch her in a cradle and set her back on her feet.
See? Just another day.
You're getting really good at that.
I can...
Seems to be
you know,
happening a lot.
Nara looks up at the council and smiles.
That's better. You've been granted admission. This is a high honor even among our own populace. I need you to understand the gravity of this honor. Any misbehavior inside will reflect very poorly on you, your world, and those of us that allowed you to enter. I will have you know that I disagreed with this decision. Further, it is the belief of some that you might be the key to figuring out what exactly the motivations of the visitor that came before you might be. You've expressed relations with this person, this Fezziwig Grinspire.
Asmo grits his teeth.
Among you,
That is.
who would he be most likely to speak to? candidly.
Wolfgang sort of raises his hands. That would be me.
And among you, who has had most experience with the entity that appears to be attached to him?
Denier raises his hand.
Mm-hmm.
There may be a time that you are called upon to speak to this man in order to facilitate our study in what plagues him. It is his desire to be rid of the being that has attached itself to his soul. If you can help us with this, if you can assist us, if you can assist him,
I have information I believe will be of assistance to you. I believe that I was approached by an entity similar a while back.
what
But
did this entity resemble?
I can show you if you will permit.
He nods to the blonde one and Hurverbrand, who nods back to him. Proceed.
Denier casts Major Image just off to the side, and he summons the duplicate of Red. This is an entity that made itself apparent to me. We called it Red. We spoke to it over in the western section of the Great Sand Sea. It continuously attempted to bargain with me to have it lend me its power, citing that if I did not, that my friends would die. I resisted all advances from this creature, and up to a point, it eventually got tired, as they say, and left me alone.
The hawk-like eyes of this man seem to loosen a little bit on you showing him this image. That is indeed the entity we've seen. And you've communicated with it.
Yes. It can hide itself at will from the eyesight of others. It seems to revel in chaos.
It has yet to find a way to hide from us.
But it seems to desire the willingness of its host. It seems to only be able to take action if the host is willing.
Well then, we would ask your assistance in this study as payment for your entry and access to our academy. Tread lightly. As I'm sure you're aware, the being itself seems to be quite conniving.
Yes, both it and its master.
Well, with that, welcome to the Academy of the Arcane. And he bangs a gavel down onto his desk. As he does this, the floor beneath you begins to rumble and lower.
Whoa!
A staircase begins to form beneath your feet. And as you are lowered beneath the desks of these elves, these eyes looking down at you, you see ahead of you the large, opulent towers of the Academy for the High Arcane. And here is where we will end today's session.